Two-time heavyweight champion George Foreman has died aged 76. The boxing icon passed away on Friday, surrounded by loved ones. His family confirmed via an Instagram post on his social media website. Foreman was an Olympic gold medalist in 1968 before he turned professional. He knocked out Joe Frazier in 1973 to become world champion and became one of the most feared punchers on the planet at the time. The American, who was born in Texas in 1949, would later fight Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974. Foreman lost the fight but was cemented in heavyweight history. Following his death, Foreman's family described the sports star as a devout preacher and a devoted husband. The statement in full reads, "Our hearts are broken. With profound sorrow, we announce the passing of our beloved George Edward Foreman St., who peacefully departed on March 21, 2025, surrounded by loved ones." Foreman scaled the heavyweight division, getting his shot at champion Joe Frazier in Kingston, Jamaica, in January 1973. A decided underdog, the unbeaten Foreman nonetheless dominated. Then 21 months and 3 fights later, he was an ex-champion because of Muhammad Ali. Ali and Foreman fought in the Rumble in the Jungle, in Kinshasa, Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, with Foreman a formidable favorite. As of 2022, Forbes put his net worth at more than $300 million. Foreman's fight against Ali took on a $5 million purse and was considered among the most iconic sporting events of the 20th century. The fight was the subject of a 1996 documentary, When We Were Kings. Foreman was making money as a pitchman for Doritos and mufflers. He was not an instant convert to the George Foreman grill. An early model that the Sultan Company shipped him, as it searched for a spokesman, sat unused until his wife, Mary, pulled it out and made a couple of hamburgers. The George Foreman grill infused itself into all layers of society. A devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great-grandfather, he lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. Humanitarian, an Olympian, and 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, he was deeply respected, a force for good, a man of discipline, conviction, and a protector of his legacy, fighting tirelessly to preserve his good name for his family. We are grateful for the outpouring of love and prayers, and kindly ask for privacy as we honor the extraordinary life of a man we were blessed to call our own. Big George retired in 1977 after failing to get another shot at the world title, but he returned a decade later. In 1994, he beat Michael Moorer, aged 45, to become the oldest heavyweight champion in history, a record that still stands today. Foreman was inducted into boxing's Hall of Fame in 2003. He retired in 1997 after a career of 76 wins and 5 defeats. A remarkable 68 of his 76 victories were inside the distance. Big George was always linked to Ali thanks to their famous fight in Zaire in 1974, but he is a boxing icon in his own right. Foreman beat Frazier twice either side of his clash with Ali, and had famous wins over Ken Norton and Ron Lyle. The athlete only ever lost 5 of his 81 professional bouts. He remained a boxing giant throughout his long career, becoming the oldest world heavyweight champion in history in 1995, 2 years before his retirement. Actor John Cusack said, "Beyond a living legend in the ring, just a wonderful spirit, an incredibly kind, generous man, in person. I always remember every encounter with great gratitude. It was an honor to know him." During his 10-year hiatus from the sport, Foreman became a born-again Christian and was ordained as a minister, and he continued to preach at services up until recently. It happened as he felt like he was dying after his 1977 loss to Jimmy Young and promised to fulfill his life to God. Foreman also became famous for his lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine, which yielded over 150 million pounds for the boxer, much more than he ever would have earned in the ring. A biopic on his life called Big George Foreman was released in 2023. Foreman, who was married 4 times in the 1970s and 1980s, leaves behind 12 children. His 5 sons are all called George. The boxing icon would eventually win the WBA and IBF heavyweight titles at the age of 45 years old, when he defeated Michael Moorer in November 1994, becoming the oldest heavyweight champion in history. Garnering a 73-4 record, he defended his titles 3 more times before facing his final opponent. He famously faced off against Muhammad Ali in the notorious Rumble in the Jungle in 1974 and suffered his first professional defeat. Vocalist was remembered his sporting career. Foreman became an entrepreneur, earning millions from his George Foreman grill. Tributes have already begun to flood in for the boxing champion following the news of his passing. Boxing star Mike Tyson wrote via X, "Condolences to George Foreman's family. His contribution to boxing and beyond will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, George Foreman. Your legacy lives on, champ." NBA star Scottie Pippen wrote via X. President of the World Boxing Council, Mauricio Suleiman, also shared his sadness over Foreman's death via the social media platform. Receiving sad news is a moment that sticks to your memory for life. The great George Foreman has passed away, legendary boxing champion, life-changing preacher, husband, father, grand and great-grandfather, and the best friend you could have. His memory is now eternal. May Big George rest in peace, he wrote. At the age of 48 years old, Foreman fought and lost to Shannon Briggs, ending his career with a 76-5 record. He was later inducted into both the World Boxing Hall of Fame and the International Boxing Hall of Fame. In 2024, 2 women claimed they were sexually assaulted as minors by Foreman. The women, now in their 60s, claimed they were both molested by Foreman in the 1970s at the height of his boxing career. In a stunning 2022 press conference, one of the alleged victims, Gwen H., claimed she was groomed and allegedly molested for 2 years starting at 14. Denise S., the second alleged victim, claimed she was attacked at the age of 15. The retired boxer vehemently denied the claims, accused the women of extortion, and filed a counterclaim against them, giving Scott another reason to consolidate the cases. George lived for decades with his 5th wife Mary Joan Martelli, who has been deeply involved in philanthropic endeavors, particularly focusing on AIDS awareness as well as promoting education for children. The public got a rare look at their family life in the 2008 TV Land series Family Foreman, which highlighted the heavyweight champ's career and role as a father. Speaking in an interview, Foreman had said, "I named all my sons George so they would always have something in common. I say to them, if one of us goes up, we all go up. And if one goes down, we all go down together."